So welcome back. In the previous session we have seen the forces in the bottom chord member, and also we have calculated the forces in top chord members also. Now next step is to analyze the forces in the vertical member. So all the vertical members, what are the forces will be there, that will be going to calculate, and again we will be using the influence line method. So first we need to draw the influence line diagram for that, right? So let us start with the first point, that is u1 and first point is u0 l0, right? First let us find out the force in u0 l0. So for that the diagram will look like something like this, and the value that I want here, how to calculate this value, so that will be given to us by 7 divided by 8, right? This is given by 7 divided by 8. So this is the influence line diagram for u0 l0, first member, this member u0 l0. Now how do we get this value? So I'm just giving you a thumb rule for that, right? So suppose you are calculating the value in u0 l0, so you need to shift to the next vertical member, that is u1 l1. So now you need to see that on the left hand side, on the right hand side, how many vertical members are remaining, right? How many vertical members are remaining? So I have 7. So or say how many spans? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. 7 spans are there. So 7 divided by, this is just a thumb rule, right? I'm not exactly describing the process, right? I'm just giving you the thumb rule to remember, right? So on the right hand side I have 7 spans, so divide by 8. So we'll get this value, 7 divided by 8, so that is 0.875. So this is my A value. This is my A value, and the remaining is 7A. The remaining is 7A value, right? So this is how you get that value. Now next, similarly we need to calculate for when you go for the u1 l1. So this is for u0 l0. Next let us do the same process for u1 l1. So this is my member, right? u1 l1 is my member, right? So for that the diagram will be something, because I have a value here, right? Because I have a value at this point, so it will be going like this, and it will be like this and here. Now what is the A value? Now here I have got a point of contraflexure. Now before that, for this point again, right? So on the left hand side, for this point on the left hand side I have one joint, right? So that is 1 divided by 8. So I'll get this value as 0.125, and similarly for this point I need to go this side, so this is 6 divided by 8. On the right hand side I need to see, so 6 divided by 8 is 0.75. So this is the ILD for u1 l1, right? Similarly for the third member also I need to calculate. So let me draw a diagram like this. Now I have a value over here, and this will go like this and here. So here it will be now 2 by 8, here it will be 5 by 8. And for the last member, there is a constraint of space, but I hope you understand this. I need to draw like this, then it will go up to here and like this. So here the value will be 3 divided by 8, and here the value will be 4 divided by 8, which is 0.5, and bottom I will get a value as 0.375. Similarly 2 divided by 8, I am getting the value as 0.25, and 5 divided by 8 is the 0.625. So this is ILD for u2 l2. This one is ILD for u3 l3. Right, so this is how we draw the influence line diagram for the vertical members. Now next step is, so these all are positive top portion, this is negative portion, positive, negative. Now there is a point of contraflexor here. If you can see this point, there is a point of contraflexor here. So suppose we need to find the point of contraflexor. So let us assume that this is x distance and the remaining distance will be 3 minus x, right? So using similar triangle rule, you can easily calculate the distance, that is x divided by 0.125. So x divided by 0.125 is equal to I get 3 minus x divided by 0.75. So if you solve this, you will get your x value as 0.428 meter. 0.428 meter. So get this x value as 0.428. Similarly here also I need to calculate the point of contraflexor. Let us assume that this is x. So similarly, using the similar triangle rule, x divided by 0.25 will be 3 minus x divided by 0.625. So I'll get my x value for this influence line diagram as 0.857, and similarly for the last diagram, this is again x value. So again x divided by 0.375 equal to 3 minus x divided by 0.5. So I'll get my x value as 1.285 meter. 1.285 meter. So now once all the dimensions are known to us, all the diagram is ready, right? So please note down this diagram very carefully, because from this we are going to calculate the forces. Okay, so now let us calculate how forces are coming. All right, so first we calculate the force in PU0L0. So first one is PU0L0. So it is calculated by area of a triangle multiplied by UDL. Area of triangle multiplied by UDL, right? So what is the area of triangle? 1/2 base into height multiplied by UDL value was 26.6. So 1/2 base into height. So 1/2 multiplied by 24 multiplied by height for this triangle is 0.875 multiplied by UDL was 26.6, I guess. Yes, 26.6. So if you calculate this, you'll get your answer as 279.3 kilonewton. 279.3 kilonewton. So answer is positive, that's why the compression. Second, let us calculate PU1L1, force in U1L1. So again, there are two areas here. One is the compression area, second is the tension area. So let us calculate first. Compression area is 1/2 multiplied by 1/2 multiplied by base into height. So base I am getting from here to here, I am getting my base as 20.572, that is from this point up to the end, right? So 20.572 multiplied by height is 0.75. So I am getting the distance from this point 20.572 up to here, right? So I hope you will be able to calculate this. If you have any doubts, you can ask in the comment box, right? So compression area, if I calculate 7.71 meter square, 7.71 meter square. Then I have a tension area also. So 1/2 base into height. So I need to calculate this much distance. So it will be, I guess, 3.428. Yes, 3.428 multiplied by height of this triangle is 0.125. So this tension area I will get as minus 0.21 meter square, minus because it is tension, this is plus because this is compression. Alright, so now force due to dead load. Next is force due to dead load. Force due to dead load we have as okay, before calculating that we need to calculate net area. So net area will be 7.71 minus 0.21, so it will be 7.5 meter square. Positive is the net area, so force due to dead load will be 7.5 multiplied by 11.6. so area multiplied by intensity, so I am getting this value as 87 kilonewton, right? This is force due to dead load. Right now force due to live load also I need to calculate. Force due to live load in compression. Force due to live load in compression. So live load we already calculated in the previous lectures. So it is 15 multiplied by 7.71. 15 multiplied by 7.71 because I am calculating for compression. 7.71 multiplied by 15. So I am getting this answer as 115.65 kilonewton. 115.65 kilonewton. And similarly force due to live load in tension. Force due to live load in tension. So it is minus 0.21 multiplied by 15. Minus 0.21 multiplied by 15. So this will be minus 3.15 kilonewton. Minus 3.15 kilonewton, right? So these are the forces that we are getting, right, for PU0L1. Now let us check for load combinations. Let us check for load combinations. So let me rub this. So for this load combination, because both the loads are acting simultaneously, so we need to check for load combination. So first one is dead load plus live load compression. Dead load plus live load compression. So this will give me the total value as 202.65, which is 87 plus 115.65. So 202.65 kilonewton. 202.65 kilonewton. This will be in compression. And second load combination is dead load plus live load tension. Dead load plus live load tension. So this will give me 87 minus 3.15. So it is 83.85 kilonewton, again compression. 83.85 kilonewton, again this is compression. So both the combinations are coming in compression. So what we can conclude is this U0L1 member will be under compression force only. So this will be designed as a compression member, right? So this is the logic behind this load combination. This will be designed as a compression member. So this is how to calculate the loads in PU0L1 member. Next we need to calculate similarly for U2L2. So let us quickly calculate for member U2L2 also. So just change the values here. All the other steps will remain the same, right? Just changing the values. Let's do it once again, right? Instead of changing the values, we're doing it again. So for U2L2, so first we need to calculate the compression area, that is 1/2 base into height. 1/2 multiplied by base. Now in this case this will be my base from this distance up to end, right? So that I am getting as 17.143 multiplied by height 0.625. So if you get this value as 5.36 meter square, right? 5.36 meter square. Similarly tension area for this triangle, now bottom part, this will be my base, right? So 1/2 multiplied by, I think it will be 6.8 6.857 multiplied by 0.25. So this will give me my tension area as minus 0.86 meter square, minus because it is in tension, right? 0.86 meter square. Once I get both this compression and tension area, then I need to calculate net area, right? So net area will be 5.36 minus 0.86. So net area comes out to be 4.5 meter square. Once I get the net area, then I can easily calculate the force due to dead load. So force due to dead load will be 4.5 multiplied by 26.6, which is my dead load that I calculated. Oh, sorry, it is not 26.6, it is 11.6 dead load. The 26.6 is total load. Okay, so this is a separate dead load, right? This is 11.6. So 4.5 multiplied by 11.6, I get this value as 52.2 kilonewton. 52.2 kilonewton. Then force due to live load, compression and tension, right? So this is force due to live load in compression. So it will be 5.36 multiplied by 15. 5.36 multiplied by 15. So get this value as 80.4 kilonewton. And similarly, live load tension. So live load tension will be minus 0.86 multiplied by 15. Minus 0.86 multiplied by 15. I am going a bit faster because just the values. So it will be minus 12.9 kilonewton. Once I get this forces, my task is to do the load combination. So for dead load, I am getting 52.2. So 52.2 plus live load compression will be 80.4. So 52.2 plus 80.4 will give me first combination, that is 132.6 kilonewton. 132.6 kilonewton. This is positive, therefore again it is in compression. And for second, it is 52.2 minus 12.9, so it is 39.3 kilonewton. Again it will be in compression. So this is how we calculate the forces in member U2 L2. Next, we need to calculate the forces in U3 L3 also, right? So same process. So let us quickly calculate the forces in U3 L3. All right. So first compression area. So area this. So this will be my base now. So 1/2 base into height. So base will be 13.715 multiplied by 0.5. 13.715 multiplied by 0.5, that is height. So I am getting this value as 3.43 meter square. 3.43 meter square. Similarly, I need to calculate the area of this bottom triangle over here. Right, area of this bottom triangle. So minus 1/2, 10.285 minus 1/2 multiplied by 2.285 multiplied by 0.375. 2.285 multiplied by 0.375. So I'm getting this answer of area as minus 1.93 meter square. Minus 1.93 meter square. So I'm getting my net area. My net area will be 3.43 minus 1.93. So 3.43 minus 1.93 will give me answer as 1.5 meter square. Once I get the net area, I can easily calculate force due to dead load and live load. So for due to dead load, 1.5 multiplied by 11.6. So I am getting this force due to dead load as 17.4 kilonewton. And similarly, for live load compression, it will be 3.43 multiplied by 15. So I am getting this value as 51.45 kilonewton. And similarly for tension, I am getting my answer as minus 1.93 multiplied by 15, minus 1.93 multiplied by 15, which becomes minus 28.95, minus 28.95 kilonewton. Then I need to calculate the combinations of this. So dead load plus live load comparison. Dead load is 17.4 and 51.45. Right, so I'll get my first combination as 68.85 kilonewton. And now here the change comes, right? So for second combination, right, as you can see, dead load is 17.4 minus, see, tension 28.95, right? So minus 28.95, I'll get answer as 11.55 negative. So here there is a tension force coming in one of the combinations, right? So this should be designed for compression, check for tension, right? So this is how you calculate the forces in all the vertical members, right? This influence line diagram part is important. Once you get hold of this, you can easily calculate the forces in all the other members, right? So for other members it will be a symmetrical one, all right? So this is how we calculate the forces in the vertical members, right? So in the next session we'll continue with the same force calculations for other members, right? So keep practicing, keep learning. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll see you in the next session.